Hello friends and welcome back to another piano lesson with Joel. I'm Joel Lunderman. Thanks for being with me today. In this video, we're going to go back and do a review of page 13 in our book, and we'll talk about we'll clap out our tas and half note rhythms. I have that up here. It's the same one that we have in our book. We'll do at least 2 run-throughs of the Ode to Joy. How's it going with the Ode to Joy? Let me know. We'll practice a very simplified way of writing the treble clef. Hope you've done that over the last week. And then we need to get to our left-hand C position on page 16. So we have a lot to cover today. Oh, incidentally, if you have not checked all of your notes on page 15, take some time to do that. I have a supplemental video that I'll link right up in here somewhere so that you can pause this video if you want and then go check all your notes and then come back, or you can check all your notes after we're done here. Okay, so up here on the board I have our rhythm that we practiced last week on page 13. I have it written out, and you see I've blocked out the treble clef and the bass clef. There's a reason why I did that, but for now, we're going to read from left to right there and then come down here. Normally when we're playing the piano, we read both of these staves at the same time, left hand and then right hand. So I blocked this out because I didn't want that to cause confusion a little bit further down the road when we start putting our hands together. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and clap saying tas. And then we'll go back and I'll write the numbers in. All right, here we go. So get your 2-finger clap out. You can use a pen to tap if you like. Tap a pen. You can pat it on your lap. But again, some physical realization of this rhythm that we're doing here on the board would be ideal. All right, here we go. We're going to start with tas. Remember, these are all tas. When we get over here to the half notes, we're going to say ta, because they indeed get 2 beats. All right? Ready and go. Ta, 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 ta. Let's go down. Ta, 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 ta. Okay, how'd you do? Hopefully that's becoming a little bit more clear for you. All right, let me take a minute and I'll write in the counts. I'll take out our tas. Again, you can go back and practice that if you need to. And for the sake of saving some time here, we're going to move on. But you can always come back to these videos and do them again, right? This is beat number 1. This is 2, 3, 4. Okay. Again, the quarter notes get 1 beat, so they're going to take up the entire beat. This is beat number, we have our bar line here, so that's beat number 1, 2, and this gets 3 and 4. Okay, that half note gets both of those beats, 3 and 4. I am not going to write in the counts down here. We're going to need to remember to count to 4 as we're clapping on the beat and then holding these for 2 beats there. All right, let's do it. I'm going to use my marker so it gives a little bit more of a sound for you. Okay, 2, ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and remember, when you clap these half notes, create the shape of the half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that way it helps you internalize holding those sounds for 2 beats. Okay, again, if we're actually playing this on the piano, we'd be holding it for 2 beats. Well, let me just do it. That is actually a G, isn't it? Okay, you hold that for 2 beats. All right, so there's our review. That was page 13, the rhythmic review. Let's go back to the Ode to Joy. Okay, so this is pretty exciting. Would you agree? We're we're well along in our first big piece that we worked on. And let me know, how did you make out? How did you make out with this? For right now, let's play together. So get your headphones set, your speaker set, get your computer where it needs to be, and let's play this together, keeping our fingers curved, our wrist up. We're starting, obviously we're in C position. I have my middle C here, 2 black keys, C is right next to it, and my other fingers just fall in line. And our first note that we play here is the E with our 3rd finger. All right? And I invite you to sing with me the names of the notes as we play. Okay? And then we'll do it again without singing the names of the notes. That's fine. And I'll add a little left-hand accompaniment with it on the next time. Let's play together at a nice, relaxed tempo. 1, 2, ready, go. E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, D, D. Next line. E, F, G, G, F, D, C, C, D, E, D, C, C. All right, how'd you make out there? Now again, you can slow this down, I believe on your YouTube, down in the bottom right there, you can slow it down and it should retain the pitch. I might be wrong with that, but should retain the pitch. Nonetheless, when we play together like this, play what you can, and then maybe take a break in a measure, and then play the following measure. Maybe play every other measure. Okay, shall we put it together with a little left-hand accompaniment? Well, yes, I think we should. All right, so you're going to do the same thing, starting with your 3rd finger on E, and I'll just put a little bit of left-hand accompaniment there. I don't want to confuse you or overstimulate you as you're trying to get this melody with the right hand going on. But I'll just put a little left hand in here. 1, 2, ready, go. E, G, next line. E, G, C, okay. Go back and practice that a few times. When you're done watching this whole video, go back to this spot in the video and practice that a few more times. And then that way you can sit down as part of your warm-up and play through the Ode to Joy. All right, where are we now on our agenda? So let's go practice some writing the G treble clef. Okay, let's go back to the board here. As you recall, in the last video lesson, part of our homework was to draw a G treble clef. And we discovered that long ago, a G looked a little bit of something like that. You can see it at the top of page 14. The G from many years ago looked a little bit like the G treble clef. Okay, for us, we're going to make this a little bit more simple. We're bringing down that line, and we kick back just a little bit there. And then we bring this one down. And we end up just like that. All right, I'll do it one more time for you, and then we'll move on. This was your homework. If not, make sure you do a little practicing of this. Okay, straight down, as straight down as you possibly can, right? And then bring that around like that. And then we continue. And we end right on the G line. Okay, so remember that the G goes right through the G treble clef. The G line goes right through the G treble clef. All right, so we're gonna leave that there. We're good with that. You practice that on your own. Will you need to draw that a whole lot? Probably not. Is it good to have something like that? Yeah, just so you have an idea when you want to write down some notes. You can just go ahead and put that G treble clef in there and then write out your notes. All right, turn to page 16. Turn to page 16, and I'll change my camera angle here. Left hand on the keyboard, so the fifth finger falls on the C below to the left of middle C. Let the remaining fingers fall naturally on the next 4 white keys. Keep the fingers curved and relaxed. We're always talking about keeping fingers curved and relaxed, yes? Notes for this position are written on the bass staff, or in the bass clef, bass staff. The bass staff also has 5 lines and 4 spaces, as we've talked about. The C, played by the fifth finger, is written on the second space of the staff. Each next higher note is written on the next higher line or space. Okay, well that all makes sense. So now we're looking for, here's middle C, and we need to get ourselves way down to this C down here with our pinky. So if you find your group of 2 here, find your group of 2 down here, and the second space C is right there that we will have our pinky on. All right, so then it follows that D is here, E with the third finger is here, F with your second finger, and then G is where your thumb is. Okay, and if you look at the middle of the page there, you see we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so using that position, let's go down to the left hand warm-up. Play the following warm-up. Say the name of each note aloud as you play. Repeat until you can play smooth and evenly. All right, well, practice makes perfect, right? We'll start with our thumb on the G. So here we go. G, find that second finger on F, and then go to the E with our third finger. Fourth finger D. Okay, back to the thumb because our next note is G. Go, G, F, E. Fourth finger is on D. Fifth finger is on C. All right, now let's begin with the second line. And our pinky is on C, and that's where we begin, starting on C. Here we go. So we start with 5, up to D, then to E, okay, now we come back down here with the C, fifth finger. As you're doing all that playing, remember to keep your wrist up, your fingers curved. I'll show you a side shot in just a minute here of these. Okay, let's do the third one down. And again, you can go back and practice these with me. After you practice on your own, be sure you practice on your own, and then come back and practice with me. All right, so now I'm starting thumb on G. This one goes down to the C and then comes back up to the G. All right, here we go. N, F, E, D, C. Repeat the C. Okay, how'd you make out? Let's do that one again. So we'll start with G. First finger on G, and here we go. N, G, F, E, C, C, Now let's take a look at just the left hand from a side position. And I'm going to play the third exercise one more time, starting with our thumb on G. So this is the very bottom of the page. G. C. C. D. F. G. Okay, again, we're always focused on keeping those hands as natural as possible. And our hands naturally curve, our fingers naturally curve as we play. So make sure they remain natural when you put them on the piano keyboard. Okay, to wrap things up for this lesson, let's take a look at page 17, and then I'll assign your homework, which is essentially going to be page 16, practicing all of 16, and then let's take a look at 17. So 17, we have a whole note, which is a very long note. Okay, and in our case here is going to get 4 beats. Our half note gets 2 beats. The whole note gets 4 beats. Let me go ahead and put this up on the board, and we'll count it out. I've put on the board exactly what you have in your book. Again, I've covered up the treble and the bass clef just for really technical reasons. Let's go ahead and clap. The only thing new that we need to know here is that our whole note is taking up all 4 beats. So over here I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4. And that means that when we clap, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We have to hold that whole note for 4 beats. These half notes, or the half note, we only hold for 2 counts. All right, let's do it. And let's hear how you do. I'm not going to write any other counts in except for that whole note as I've already done. 2, ready and go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have to hold that. All right, let me play. I'm going to play, I'm just going to pick a note here. I'll pick the note B, okay? And I'll play all of this, and then when we get here, I'm going to jump to a D for that one, okay? All right, ready, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we're holding those notes for the duration of those counts. Go ahead and practice through that. Again, go back in the video and clap that with me again. In the meantime, we'll get set up for what your homework will be for this coming week, 2 weeks, whenever it takes you to get back to our next lesson. Your homework for this session, I need for you to review all the notes on page 15. It doesn't have to be a whole half hour of reviewing, but go back and look at those notes for your right hand C position. And then really dig into page 16 with your left hand C position and spend some time at the bottom of page 16. Then I want you to work on page 17 at the top. Go ahead and clap through that rhythm a few more times. Even write in the counts underneath that exercise in the middle of 17. And then I need for you to take a lot of time at the bottom of the page with RLE. So that is C position with your left hand. You're starting with your left hand on C, and then your second finger, let me go to here. So you're starting on C, and then jump up to F with your second finger, fourth finger on D, back up to the G. All right, and that's all I'm going to play for you now. I want you to work this one out on your own. You have an idea now of the names of the notes, the lines of spaces. Next week we'll review what our hand staff says for the bass clef. So take your time and work on Arlie. And so that's all of 17, 16, reviewing, of course, 15. And again, keep working on Ode to Joy. Make that as smooth and lyrical and musical as possible. That is it, my friends. Thanks again for joining me here on Piano Lessons with Joel. Always leave comments below. Is there something I'm missing? Is there a question that you have? Is there any confusion? How are you doing? Are you doing better than you expected? Let me know in the comments. Love to hear from you. And as always, thanks for tuning in to Piano Lessons with Joel. And we'll see you in the next piano lesson. See ya.